Well, good morning once again and welcome to Breakfast Extra. We begin with a major infrastructural development in Lagos that will impact thousands of daily commuters along the Lekki-Ajah corridor. Yes, I'm talking to you. The Lagos state government has announced an 8-month rehabilitation project which comes with phased traffic diversions and a promise to ease long-standing gridlock on this busy route. According to recent briefings, the repairs will run through 2 major phases, with nighttime construction, partial lane closure, and expanded alternative routes, all targeted at reducing commuter stress during a long rehabilitation period.
While commuters anticipate smoother roads in the long run, there are concerns about traffic congestion, public safety, and environmental impact. And to help us unpack these developments, we have SRC Oluwadamilola Jayeola of the FRSC and Wade Ahime, Chief Coordinating Officer of Sustainable Africa. Oluwadamilola, thank you so much. Good morning for joining us.
And of course,
good morning, and thank you for having me.
Good morning. Great to be here, and it's great to be talking to a marshal.
Awesome. That is grand.
Great to talk to you too.
I'm glad we're starting on a very friendly note, all of us, because this is a very, very critical topic here. Madam Oluwadamilola, I'm wondering exactly what are we looking at now? 8 months of rehabilitation. We know what happens when rehabilitation happens. For example, on the 3rd Mainland Bridge only just last year, or was it the year before? It was, some will say, pretty hectic for motorists. Now, the Lekki-Ajah corridor is a very important one. Not only does it lead to the free trade zone, it's become more and more commercialized over the past many weeks. So, what should we expect from road marshals, the FRSC, or even other authorities that will be posted on these routes?
All right, thank you so much, and thank you for having me again. First off, let me say thank you to the Governor of Lagos State, Governor Olusola Babajide Sanwo-Olu. He's a spot on for thinking it right to rehabilitate this Lekki-Ajah expressway in corridor, knowing fully well that it's a commercialized corridor, just like you said. But there's something my core commander, that's the sector commander of Lagos State FRSD, would always say: collaboration is key. And he would always say it in Yoruba: Agbajowo lafin soya, ajojowo kon gberu dore. And this means that we all need to collaborate at this time. We all need to come together at this time, interagency-wise, community-wise. We all need to come together and make sure that this 8 months rehabilitation is done in one piece. You know, this is very, very key for that particular corridor, knowing fully well that we have the free trade zone around that place, and it's a development waiting to happen on that corridor. So first off, I think coming from the FRIC point of view, for me, I'll say we'll deploy more personnel to that corridor to make sure that they man the critical choke points on traffic control. Also, we're going to do more of or increase our community engagement and enlightenment at this point in time. We're going to have to, talk to more people so that they understand why this rehabilitation is very important and why they need to keep themselves safe. If you've gone through the Ember Month thing for FRC, take responsibility for your safety. Stop distracted driving. And I think on this corridor, they need it more. They can't afford to take their eyes off the road at any point in time. Also, we'll talk about strict enforcement of lane indiscipline and diversion. There's going to be diversion on that road. You can't but follow through on the set rules on ground. You can't but follow through. So there's going to be strict enforcement on that. Not minding that as much as we are going to be doing the traffic control, also we're going to look into the enforcement aspect of it. Also, the emergency response team are going to work hand in hand with other agencies to make sure that our response time comes as early as possible, and then we do it the way we are supposed to do it all together with other agencies. And then there's going to be tow truck availability also to remove broken down vehicles, crash damaged vehicles, or stalled vehicles on that corridor so that people can have free movement on that corridor.
You're talking about the corridor itself or the alternative corridor, which would be the Lagos-Calabar Highway? Is that
Lagos-Calabar Highway?
Thank you for clarifying.
Yes, both on the Lekki-Ajah corridor that's being rehabilitated, and the other Lekki-Calabar or Lagos-Calabar Way is going to be monitored by FRC and other agencies as well.
Right. Oluwadamilola, thank you. Your responses is making me very hopeful for December, you know, because the traffic, the past few days, I'm already seeing it, I'm like this. But how are commuters?
Yes, she is.
How are commuters?
In advance.
Yes, so I'm just hoping, you know, you've given me so much hope this morning, but how will, you know, commuters receive real-time updates about, you know, the progress of the project, if there are closures or, you know, what diversions or anything happening in real time?
Coming from FRC, we do real-time traffic updates on some radio stations, and I would suggest that they listen. And then there are other agencies who do their own too on radios, and then, you know, we dish out information on groups. If you belong to those groups, yes, you can get those real-time updates. And then we also have newsmen in those groups. I know I have a representative of News Central in that particular group. So once we dish it out, they help us spread it out accordingly.
Well, thank you very much.
I think that is key as well.
Thank you very much, Damilola. But there are other issues we must discuss, and that's why we have Uwade here in the studio. Yes. And I'd like you to keep an ear out for this. Now, Uwade, you're welcome. Thank you very much for joining us.
It's great to be here, Maz, you know.
Anything business and the economy, we always look forward to having you on the show here.
It's a pleasure.
Now, Lekki corridor, heavily commercialized when it comes to people who live in Lagos.
And I used to live there at some time.
So you can understand the pressure on people's minds, the pressure on the minds of the authority, the pressure on the Lagos-Calabar Highway, which would be the alternative route. Yeah. But how exactly will this affect businesses, the economy, people's pockets? What are we looking at here, especially as we get into the main month that 2025 was designed for? Dirty December 2025.
Clean December for me.
What are we expecting economically?
So economically, first and foremost, I'd like to commend Madam Oluwadamilola for giving us, you know, the brief and clearly stating what exactly is going to happen. Yeah. But the first thing the other thing I need to say is Lagosian motorists should please adhere to the rules and regulations. The alternative routes, which is going to be the coastal highway, which cuts across from the back into the Lekki corridor. Maybe initially there might be quite some disruptions, but I don't think from an economic perspective it will be that much once there is an alternative. I think the biggest fear initially was, where's the alternative? And if the Lagos Calabar coastal highway is available, it just means that you have somewhere which should be faster, freer, for you to connect into your businesses. But to avoid continued loss in revenue on that corridor, I think the best thing is motorists should please adhere to the rules and regulations. Otherwise, what then happens is there's so much chaos, and traffic is one of the biggest issues when it comes to economic issues. Because once there is traffic, you miss appointments, shops can open on time, shops can close on time, and so on and so forth. But I do think also that it's an opportunity for us to, as a country, to realign how we're going to do December. Yes, I know a lot of people are going to be out on that corridor, but even the motorists themselves and the Nigerians themselves who are looking forward to December, they should remember that if you're stuck in traffic, then there's no economic activity.
I think you just set us up right for this conversation here. When you're talking about people looking forward to December, and the Lagos state government actually acknowledged from last year how much Lagos made in December with everything and everyone pouring into Lagos, the commerce that happened, hotels, bookings, leisure, it was really big. And I hope that Madam Damilola is also listening to this now, because I like her take on this. Yes, I am. Oh, grand. It seemed, and the argument is, it seems rather counterproductive that you would set the resumption date for the rehabilitation in December. If you're expecting all that economic influx of money, why then put something that would actually stand as adverse circumstance to that, what do you call it, instance?
Okay, so let's start by saying that we know that November, December are the lowest periods of economic activities, and also along that corridor. Why? Because businesses will close, some shops will close, many offices will start to close from the middle of December. However, for those who are open, what it then means is that they need to be able to advise their clientele on what to do, how to get there fastest. So go through the Lagos-Calabar highway and connections and roads and interlinking roads that come into those space. However, I don't think in the long run that the amount of economic activity as it happened in 2024 will happen in 2025.
Oh, sacrilege.
No. And why do I say this? It's because more people on that corridor, I'm not talking about Lagos as a whole, so you now have to start looking for alternatives. So for those who live on the mainland, for instance, you start looking for where you would get, the kind of dirty December, like they put it, that you need to have.
Right.
What it also does is, for economic activities on the mainland, so shortlets, all that, so there'll be a boost in that. Why? And then more
variety,
outfits,
diversity,
would start to look at, so how do I create that same kind of
so this is an opportunity for mainland
it's an opportunity for main businesses.
Okay.
And for those who have branches on the mainland or in VI and Ikoyi, then this is an opportunity for you to boost those branches that people will never really come. Maybe by dropping prices, that kind of thing, so that you can improve and boost your sales.
Queen, I hope you don't mind. I really would like Madam Damilola to actually tell us what she thinks about this seeming counterproductive measure that the government is putting in place.
I think it's top-notch coming from the FRC point of view. And also, I'd like to say that from Wadi's point of view, saying that they should adhere to rules and regulation is key. Also, talking about the logistics core, I think they need to re-strategize on how they want to upscale their, should I say upscale their profit or scale their sales. You need to start strategizing from now. Look at what you want to do and how you want to attain them. I think it's just okay. And the coastal road being the alternative, it's not going to be as tight as if we do not have a good alternative road mapped out in the first place. So we're good to go. Let me put it like that.
Awesome. Oluwadam, I think every time you speak, I'm having this hope. But now I want to ask, because your voice is giving me so much confidence that this is it for real. But, this is not the first time road in Lagos is being fixed. But, by the time rain is falling, something is happening. And then you wake up one morning, there's a pothole in Jakonde, there's a pothole in Ikate. What assurances have you heard from Lagos that this time around, this fixing is fixing for real?
Okay, so not to be like how do I put it now? Let me tell you that coming from the state government, thinking it right is the first stage for me. Is the first kudos for me, and then they now doing it right is the second stage of saying kudos. Let's just keep our fingers crossed and be hopeful that they're going to do the best, knowing that they've never given us less than good in the first place. So let's keep our fingers crossed.
Keeping our fingers crossed. I'm going to come back to the studio here. Wadi, let's talk about how businesses can absolutely prepare now. Right. We had COVID-19. That seems to have prepared us for plenty of things, especially remote working. But in the Nigerian instance, and if you have any record of this or maybe research, how did that fare for businesses in Nigeria, in Lagos especially, when we had to work from home? Did we experience a reduction in output? Did we experience an increase in output? What happened exactly, and how can we apply that here in this instance?
So at the initial stages of COVID, yes, there was reduction in output. However, as time went on, when the sanity came back, let me put it that way, people could work from home. Even restaurants could deliver. So what it then means for me at this point in time is, if you're not really an essential staff that needs to be in the office, so let me use restaurants and social spaces, then you don't need to be there, because you can actually work from home. Do you understand?
Provide that service.
Provide that service from home. And like Madam Oluwadamilola said, you need to adhere to the rules, because one of the biggest challenges that you find in Lagos, and I use Lagos because that's where we are, is where you just don't obey simple traffic rules. So traffic a journey that should take you 20 minutes will take you 5 hours. Why? Because everybody is in a hurry. And the question is, at the end of the day, where you run into? Because you're now stuck in that traffic for 5 hours. So Lagosians, I know you want to enjoy your December, please do that. However, let this work more efficiently by, one, planning, being patient on the road. Are you with me? Letting other motorists go, so that it's not like people say, oh, no, I should be the head. No. Without the tail, then the fish won't move if it's just the head.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think that's what Lagosians should do. And I just believe that the economic activities would not necessarily drop beyond what is expected once there is no chaos.
Okay. And now I wish we had an engineer with us on today's show, but we don't. So I'm going to have to shift this a question, or curious question, to Madam Oluwadamilola. It's about the form which the Lekki-Ajah corridor takes. These roundabouts, many people have said they're no longer roundabouts. They are actually just junctions. And many people say these are the cause of plenty of traffic. And we're wondering what exactly would be the new format, if there's going to be any change. Do these fixes simply mean just only on the surface of the road, or do they mean the configuration of the road itself? Do you know or have any idea of this information?
I'm not privy to what it's going to be like, but maybe subsequently, when we have the first phase of the meeting with all the stakeholders, I may be able to give you what it's going to look like. But for now, I do not have any information as to that.
Okay, well, very interesting. Uade, what should we look forward to after these 8 months? Are we going to see an increase in influx of people who want to live in the Lekki-Ajah corridor?
And me getting to work faster.
Are we going to see, businesses charge lesser, because they always complain that it's Lekki and they start raising their prices?
I'm not sure about more people living in the Lekki axis, because if there is no accommodation, then more people can move there.
Exactly.
But what we should expect after these 8 months is that your journey to Lekki should be smoother.
Would this affect prices in Lekki?
Oh, during this period,
the prices?
During this period, it probably will increase. Are you with me? Because it's about demand and supply.
Okay.
Yeah, but I do expect that once this is done, because journey time is shorter, things will stabilize, and then prices will come out to what prices should be based on the demands and supplies. You can't change that.
Oh, we hope so. Yeah, you can.
I don't know what to say, because
Rest easy.
Well, I'm in the middle of it, and you've made it clear. Again, we should hope that the citizens and those coming to visit us every December would adhere, because everybody's rushing for one concert or prayers, 31st night, the experience, Fly Fest is something, especially the VI. So let's hope that citizens would adhere to the rules, so that we can get to work on time.
I do hope so.
I hope so.
And I'm thankful that I'm not on the axis.
Wow.
I am so thankful.
Oluwadamilola, thank you for joining us and giving us so much hope. And I'm hoping to see your people on the road and say, oh, thank you guys for helping us clear this traffic. We appreciate you this Sunday morning. Thank you.
Thank you for being with us on the conversation.
When you see them, let me know.
I will.